Syracuse and all that, and kind of just a testament to his legacy and how why he's still remembered now. Just despite being the athlete that he was, what about his character made him so memorable? So he was born in New Salem, Pennsylvania. That's just a little bit south of Harrisburg. And when he was 14 months old, his father died in an accident, and he moved to Uniontown to live with his mother's parents. Now, his mother was the oldest of 12 children, so he was close in age with a lot of his uncles. His Uncle Chuck is 2 years older than him. His Uncle Willie was 5 years older than him. When he lived in Uniontown, that was really when he started to get involved in sports and things like that. He didn't really play organized sports until later when he moved to Elmira. But in Uniontown, he'd often go out with his older uncles, Chuck and Willie, and go play kind of like sandlot sports, baseball, basketball, football, really any kind of competitive game. He just loved to play the game, whatever game it was. And when he was in Uniontown, it was growing up. It was apparent that he had a stuttering problem, and it was kind of something that stayed with him throughout high school. But he didn't let it faze him. It was a serious problem, and sometimes he couldn't even talk right because he stuttered so badly. And his Uncle Chuck often acted as an interpreter because he didn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable or make him feel bad for him, because that was just the kind of guy he was. So when he was 11 years old, he moved to Elmira, New York, because his mother married Bud Fleming, or his real name is Harold, but called him Bud. In Elmira, he lived with his mother and his stepdad, and he lived right across the street from the high school that is now it's now the middle school. It was the old Elmira Free Academy, the high school, and that is actually where he lived. That marker right there says Ernie Park. It's a park now, obviously, and that was right where his front porch would have been, and it's right across the street from his high school. When he was really eager to move to Elmira because he liked that there was organized sports for kids. There was the small fry and neighborhood house where he got off, spent most of his days playing football, playing basketball. He just loved to play the game. There's actually a story when he was in Elmira about how he was playing one time with just a bunch of kids, and some of the white kids weren't so tolerant, obviously, of a black kid playing with them, and especially that he was better than them. And one of the white kids started getting too physical and starting to get a fight, and he just got up and walked away. And they asked him why. He was like, "Well, don't you want to play anymore?" He goes, "Well," and he said, "Well, the game just isn't fun anymore." And that was really, he didn't, he wasn't in the game to be a big star or make a lot of money or anything. He just loved playing the game. So when he was in Elmira, he played small fry football, small fry basketball, and neighborhood house basketball. When he was in small fry, he played on the small fry football. He played on the Superior Buicks team, and he was an all-star in 1952 and 1953. He played with one of his kids that was his age was Ted DeFilippo. His father was Tony DeFilippo, who became his lawyer later when he signed with the Cleveland Browns. And that was originally where he met Tony, and also where he met Marty Harrigan, his future high school coach. So when Ernie was in high school, he'd been eyed, obviously for a long time, being obviously the best one in small fry games and just recreational games around the city. And so all the high school coaches knew him already. He earned 11 varsity letters in 3 different sports: baseball, basketball, and football. He was an All-American in basketball and football. When he was a junior and senior, he was an All-American for basketball and football. He was Elmira Player of the Year, also his junior and senior years, and that was one of the awards that he said was the most personal to him because it was representing his hometown, and he liked that everybody kind of admired him and looked up to him. He set the record for Academy for most yards, 1,314 in a career, and his game average was actually 100 plus yards. seasons. When he was a freshman, he didn't play varsity football. It wasn't that wasn't a custom at the time, and he played JV football. But in the first minute of his first game in the JV season, he broke his wrist and he was out for the rest of the season. But when he was so he had a cast on for the fall and into the winter. And when it came for basketball tryouts, he had the cast on. Coach Jim Flynn told him, you can't play, you have to go home. But he stuck around, and because he just wanted to be on the team so badly and he wanted to play. And eventually they said, okay, we'll let you play. And it was the first game of the season, his freshman year against Union Endicott. He went in the middle of the first quarter, and he pretty much played the rest of the game. He scored 22 points, and from then on, it was pretty apparent that he was going to play the rest of the year. His total record at Elmira Creek Academy for basketball was 81-10, and he only ever lost in his freshman and sophomore seasons. In his junior and senior season, he led the team to a 52-game winning streak, which was then a state record. And he was also, despite being the athlete that he was, obviously an incredible athlete, he was well liked among his peers. He was voted the sophomore class president and prom king in a class where it was rare for an African American to be successful and nonetheless be voted by his peers, who were, obviously predominantly white at the time. So there you see his at prom, right to his left, that's Jack Moore. He's an Elmira lawyer now. He is still here. He was on the Ernie Davis Scholarship Committee, and he's one of Ernie Davis' best friends. He played basketball with him. There's a basketball picture, and that's his senior picture. So obviously, being the athlete that he was, he got heavily recruited. He had more than 50 scholarship offers in a time where a black athlete wasn't necessarily offered that many scholarships. He was originally leaning toward the Air Force Academy or Notre Dame, but he decided on Syracuse, mainly because when he obviously he admired Jim Brown, who was the running back at Syracuse then. It kind of became a dynasty thing from Jim Brown to Ernie Davis to Floyd Little. Jim Brown recruited Ernie, and Ernie recruited Floyd Little. But I think the deciding factor for Ernie was the education piece of it. He understood that football was only for a short time, and he wanted to play pro football because he loved football. But he realized that he couldn't do that forever, and he needed an education to sustain himself afterwards. So when Ben Schwartzwelder, the Syracuse football coach, came to Elmira to recruit him, he really emphasized that he could get a great education at Syracuse and that he could sustain himself afterwards, after playing football. Later, when Ernie was deciding which school to go to, he was talking to his Uncle Chuck and said that he really wanted to go to Syracuse because it was a large school and he would be exposed to a lot more, and he knew that exposure was half the battle in education. So at Syracuse, when he was a freshman, it wasn't commonplace for a freshman to play. It was actually a rule that they couldn't, but they would practice with the varsity team. So when he was a freshman, he practiced, and he obviously was the best, and a lot of people said that he should have even played his freshman year. But when he was a sophomore, he led Syracuse to an undefeated 1959 season. In the same year, they won the Cotton Bowl. He was the Cotton Bowl MVP actually that year. He scored twice. Once was the third play of the game, off an 87-yard swing out right from Gershwin's pass, and then he ran 87 yards in for a touchdown. So he's obviously he's shown there, and he was inducted in the Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame. And at the Cotton Bowl dinner, there's a lot of controversy and rumor about what actually happened in Dallas, because obviously in Dallas in 1960 there was a tremendous amount of racial discrimination, and there was the 3 black players on Syracuse were discriminated against a lot. And when they got into Dallas at the hotel, Ernie and 2 other black players were being forced to sleep in like a suite behind the kitchen while the other players were in the hotel. And Ernie, he wasn't a complainer. He just kind of dealt with it, and he knew what it was going to be like. He didn't want to and he was actually, there was a white player that was booked to stay in the same room with those other 3 black players, and he said that he just wasn't going to do it and that he was going to walk away. And Ernie, it didn't really faze him. He just kind of let it go. He said, that's his problem, it's not mine. And it was kind of a favorite quote of his. It was actually in a philosophy paper that he wrote at Syracuse, that the person who commits injustice is more disgraceful than the person who endures it, which is really a testament to just how calm and collected he was in those situations. He didn't let it bother him. He knew that he was fine and that it was their problem. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1961. That was his senior season, and they won the Liberty Bowl against Miami 15-14. And he won the Heisman, obviously being the best college player around, and he met JFK in New York City at his request. While at Syracuse, Ernie was a member of the Sigma Alpha Mu fraternity, which was started originally as an all-Jewish fraternity. And it progressed as to not necessarily be an all-Jewish fraternity, but certainly there were no African Americans at the time, and he was the first African American to be a member of the Sigma Alpha Mu fraternity, not just at Syracuse but nationwide. So this is kind of just a compilation of all the awards in high school and in college. He was an All-American in both high school and college. He was the captain of the EFA team, basketball team, when they went 52 wins in a row. And he was the JAC Football Player of the Year in 1956 and 1957. And he was an All-Southern Junior Conference choice 1955, 1956, and 1957. And he was voted the best player in Section 4 in 1956 and 1957. Now, the Section 4 football game, the All-Star game, is actually called the Ernie Davis Classic. He was obviously a member of the Syracuse National Championship football team in 1959 when they won the Cotton Bowl. He was the Cotton Bowl MVP. He was an All-American in 1960, 1961, and in 1961 he was voted an All-American by 8 different organizations. And obviously the All-American team is different for each, the AP has one, and the U.S. News and World Report has one like that, but he was actually voted an All-American by 8 different of those organizations. He received the Walter Camp Memorial Trophy in 1961, which is just given to the best back in football, and obviously he was at that time, and the Heisman Trophy winner kind of capped it all off. So, after he was done at Syracuse, he was obviously being a Heisman Trophy winner. He was heavily pursued by professional football teams. He was originally drafted by the Washington Redskins, but the owner of the Redskins was a notorious racist. He was actually the Secretary of the Interior threatened the owner of the Redskins that he would revoke the license on the D.C. Stadium where the Redskins played if he did not draft a black player. So he ended up drafting Ernie Davis, but he was immediately traded to the Browns, where Art Modell had just become the new owner. Art Modell kind of saw it where, of course, Jim Brown was already playing at the Cleveland Browns, and Art Modell kind of saw it as an opportunity to have kind of this dream backfield where Ernie and Jim Brown would just be a dynamic duo. Ernie signed over that summer in San Francisco, where he negotiated a contract with the Cleveland Browns with his lawyer, his friend Tony DeFilippo, and it was actually the most lucrative contract for an NFL rookie in history at that time. It was $80,000 for playing football, which is $65,000 over the next 3 years, and a $15,000 signing bonus, and $60,000 for ancillary rights, which is like imaging and marketing, and $60,000 for off-season employment. The owner, Art Modell, really wanted him to play. He was really looking forward to it, but he contracted leukemia, and he never played in the NFL. he was originally cleared by some of the doctors that Armodell had hired. When Armodell found out that Ernie had leukemia, he hired every hematologist and every doctor that he possibly could to try to cure it. But obviously they couldn't, and Armodell wanted him to play. He just wanted Ernie to play because he knew it was a dream of Ernie's to play in the NFL, to play professional football. But Coach Paul Brown had his own physician who wouldn't clear Ernie to play. Ernie contracted acute monocytic leukemia in the summer of 1962. There was, obviously, after he won the Heisman, he was on all the college all-star teams, and so he couldn't play any of those all-star games. He played in one in Buffalo, New York, and that was, what he said was the first time he's ever been booed, because he played so poorly because he was sick and he didn't realize what was wrong with him at the time. There was a game in Green Bay against the college all-stars, played the Green Bay Packers, and they lost 42-20, and everybody said that if Ernie was there, they would have done a little bit better. Ernie actually watched that game in his hospital room, where he didn't really know yet what was wrong with him, that he had leukemia and how severe it was. Mr. Modell actually had kind of requested Jim Brown, who was the halfback that recruited Ernie, who was playing for the Browns. Ernie's roommate in college, John Brown, who was also on the football team, who was also drafted by the Browns, and John Wooten, who was Jim Brown's roommate. They all went to the hospital to see Ernie when he was sick. They kind of knew that it was a bit more severe than Ernie thought because of what Mr. Modell had told them. But when they walked in the room, Ernie kind of hopped up right out of his bed and he was like, "Yeah, how's it going, guys?" And they were like, "Well, he can't be that sick." And that was really kind of just how Ernie was about his disease. He was never making people feel sympathetic for him, and he really wanted people to just feel like that he was going to survive it, because he didn't want people to feel bad for him and to be sad about it. The leukemia went into remission in the fall of 1962, and he got to go home for a little bit, and he got to see his family, and I got to go back to his own house that he hadn't been in for a while. And when he was home then, he would go up to EFA and run around the track, and somehow the word got out, and all the little kids came up, all the young aspiring athletes would come up and try to talk to Ernie and get his autograph and get tips and just talk to him. He was always very accommodating, especially to the little kids. He died in the Cleveland Marymount Hospital on May 18th, 1963, in the middle of the night. This is a story that Ernie wrote for the Saturday Evening Post when he was sick. It's called "I'm Not Unlucky," and really he just kind of chronicled, it's a lot of anecdotes from when he was in Uniontown to Elmira to Syracuse, and just about playing sports, and about some of his greatest disappointments, and about some of his highest points. And I think this is one of the better quotes from that article. It says, "Some people say I am unlucky. I don't believe it. And I don't want to sound as if I am particularly brave or unusual. But when I look back, I can't call myself unlucky. My 23rd birthday was December 14th. In those years, I've had more than most people get in a lifetime. I think everybody wants some kind of recognition, something that will pick them out of a crowd and will make people admire them. And Ernie certainly displayed all those qualities to get people to admire him. His funeral was held 3 days after he died on May 21st, 1963. It was in Elmira. They actually had to change churches because there were too many people that wanted to come and coming to see him. Over 10,000 people showed up to mourn him at the wake at the neighborhood house where he had played basketball. And Mr. Modell, Art Modell, the owner of the Browns, flew out the entire Cleveland Browns team to the funeral. And despite the rain, it was pouring rain that day, there was over 10,000 people that showed up. Both Houses of Congress, the Senate, and the House of Representatives both eulogized him. And JFK sent a telegram to Ernie's mother, kind of to Ernie, saying, "Seldom has an athlete been more deserving of such a tribute," talking about the Heisman. "Your high standards of performance on the field and off the field reflect the finest qualities of competition, sportsmanship, and citizenship." The last being the most important to his life, that he was not necessarily not just a great athlete, but he was also just a great citizen. And I think if I had to sum up Ernie in 2 words, I would say model citizen, because he not only was successful, was a great guy, and he realized he was obviously great in sports, and he realized that he should get an education too, and he was just a great role model, especially for the youth to look up to. These are kind of some of the things that, how he's honored after he was dead, and it continues. It continues to this day with the Ernie Davis Scholarship and the Ernie Davis Award and all the buildings and everything. He was obviously he has a lot of namesake things now. The Cleveland Browns retired number 45, despite him not ever wearing it. They've only retired 5 jerseys ever in their history. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in the fall of 1979. The old EFA, the high school that he went to, is now a middle school. Where he lived across the street from, and it's now a middle school bearing his name. There is obviously the Ernie Davis Scholarship, why we're all here, and that's given to somebody who was supposed to spread the word about Ernie, about how he's a great guy. And there's the Ernie Davis Award, which is given to the best football player in the metro area, like the Elmira metro area. And there's the Ernie Davis Community Center, which is the old kind of the neighborhood house over on Lake Street. And also, there are a few things at Syracuse that honor him. He's the trophy room in the Carrier Dome is now called the Ernie Davis Legends Room, and the field is called Ernie Davis Legends Field. Syracuse actually petitioned the post office, the United States Postal Office, to change their zip code to 13244 to honor not only Ernie, but all the other players that have worn 44, like Floyd Little and Jim Brown. In 2009, Ernie was honored again when Syracuse finished the construction of the Ernie Davis Hall, which is a new dormitory. And they have a statue of Ernie Davis, much like that one over at the middle school at Syracuse. And that is right where they hold, it's right at the bottom of a hill, right where they hold pep rallies and events like that. I think one of the most powerful things about his death and his life was the eulogy. The eulogy is written by Reverend Lotta Thomas, and this is kind of a good summary of his life and his untimely death. For those of us who loved and admired the man and the athlete, and longed to see the full face and free smile of this Mr. Inspiration on television sets and from grandstands for a long time to come, the disappointment and pain is great. Yet heaven did not cheat us. For any time we in this world are brought aspiration, inspiration, and joy by a life, however short, we are not cheated, we are blessed. And the life of Ernie Davis brought us here, just like it brought us here today.
First off, just a comment, I was born the year that Ernie Davis won the Heisman Trophy, and so I've grown up hearing about the great Ernie Davis, and I've heard a lot, and I'm so impressed by the body of knowledge you acquired. It's impressive. Thank you so much. Did you read anywhere, did anybody ever ask Ernie, and he maybe attempted to explain how or why he had such a balanced approach to life, how he could be so tolerant in an environment that was so intolerant, and did he like attribute it to his mother, to those uncles?
I think a big part of that, it's not, I mean, I'm kind of speculating, but I think a big part of that is probably growing up in Uniontown. His mother's parents were very religious, and they always, they went to church and read a Bible and things like that. And it wasn't just that they were Bible thumpers; they were just great people, and they really instilled those values on them early on. And just to not just to be a good person, but to be a good member of your family, and to whatever you do, do it well.
Well, he still has family in Pennsylvania?
I'm not entirely sure. I think that I know some of his uncles moved to Brooklyn. I think three of his uncles are all they live in Brooklyn, and some of his sisters. I know some of his or not some of his sisters, but his aunts, his mother's sisters. A couple of them have died, but I'm not sure where the surviving ones are living.
Well, you said he had like a big stuttering problem. Well, did he ever get over it like entirely, or did he still hear it a little bit?
When he was in it's not really clear whether he got over it entirely. I mean, he could still have a small stuttering problem. People would not really notice. But when he was in high school, he got together with a bunch of reading and English teachers, and they kind of worked it out with him, and he just day after day just kind of put in the work on getting over it. And I think he got over it for the most part in high school, but I don't know if it was ever 100% gone.
What are your plans for the future?
I'm not really sure yet. I mean, I'm planning to go to a 4-year college in the fall, but I've only heard back from SUNY Albany, which I got accepted to a couple weeks ago.
Do you happen to know, were there any repercussions for the Redskins owner who traded him away as soon as he met his obligation?
Well, he traded him away to the Browns in exchange for a first-round draft pick in the next year, and for a black player. So I guess he kind of balanced that out, but I'm sure that that attitude was squashed pretty quickly, or he was fired later on. So.
Okay, well, thank you. That was wonderful. Do you want to say anything specifically about the exhibit, or?
Well, I would just like to say thanks to everybody who donated, all of you for coming today, and especially to all the people who are so accommodating for donating things, and to Aaron and Kelly and Rachel, everybody at the museum who helped with pictures, getting the whole exhibit together.
How long will it be up? All month?
Through the end of the month, yes. Okay, then I guess we'll round out our afternoon with Rachel, who's going to bring us